Hi, this is Chris, Video Game Dust Sleeves, and this is the VGDS podcast with my co-host, Linda the Gamer Girl,
Howdy.
and my special guest gamers, RetroMikey78,
Hey, what's up, everybody?
and BoneZ06.
How's it going?
Okay, let's start off this podcast with Sleeve It or Leave It. The first game is Monster Party. Linda, would you sleeve it or leave it?
I would sleeve it just because it's a classic game.
Okay. Mikey?
I'm gonna have to sleeve it because that is one sick-looking sleeve.
Yeah, it is. And Bones?
I'm gonna go with sleeve it as well.
All right. Next one. Splatterhouse 2. Linda, sleeve it or leave it?
Sleeve it for sure on that one.
Mikey?
Well, you gotta sleeve it. It's Splatterhouse. You get splat all over it.
Bones?
Definitely, it's got to be sleeved.
Oh, look. We're on a roll. Everybody's saying yes. Okay, and the last one. Zombies ate my neighbors. Linda?
Sleeve it. Do you nerd would be happy with me?
Oh, yeah, they would. Mikey?
Well, I'm gonna say sleeve it because it's a classic game and you need to protect it.
Good answer. Bones?
I'm gonna go with sleeve that as well because I actually have good memories of that game. I still remember when I got that game, so definitely sleeve it.
Awesome. Okay, next segment. Guess that box art. So, I can give you one hint on this one. It's Sega. We'll start with Linda.
Alien?
Yeah, you got it.
Yep, it looks just like the NES one, Alien 3, almost.
Yeah, that's what
I was gonna
guessing
say
based
Alien
off of.
3.
Yeah, you got it. That's what it is, Alien 3. So, I kind of figured you guys would get this one right away. I knew there wasn't going to be an issue with this one. This one, you can just tell that that's Alien.
A little chomper.
Even Dan, before we started the podcast, Dan was like, "Man, I know this one, and I'm not going to be in it."
When I first saw it, I thought it was Pipe Dream, and then I was like, "Oh no, that's Alien 3," because Pipe Dream has like a green goo on the box art.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Right,
But
right.
then I saw the teeth on it, and I was like, "Yeah, no, that's Alien."
All right, on to the next segment. We're gonna give now. It's your turn to talk, Mikey. We want to know a little bit about yourself, how your collection, what you play, and etc.
Hey guys, it's Retro Mikey. Yeah, I am a huge gamer. Also a turtle nut. That's why I got Retro Mikey78. My two passions in life: love collecting for the turtles, love collecting for video games. Started young in my life. Parents had an Atari. I had an NES, and then my parents told me no more systems from the time from an NES all the way up till I graduated from high school and had to buy my own. So growing up, all my friends had the Sega Genesis, the Super Nintendo, and Game Boy and other stuff like that. So that's where I played those. But as soon as I got out of high school, I hit it strong, hard. Started collecting myself. By 2001, I even had a what was it? I even had a video game store with a partner of mine, a friend from high school. We opened up in a flea market where we ran it on the weekends.
I got a question about the video game store.
Yeah.
Did you ever mind, like, you had games coming in? Obviously, did you ever felt the need to collect those games, or were you okay with selling them?
If we collected them, we had to buy them from the. We had to pay 10% more than what we paid for it.
Okay, I got you. That's a good way of doing it.
It ended up happening is we worked out a deal when we first opened it. It was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday indoor flea market. I was gonna run it one week. He would run it the next week. Well, after about 3 months, I was like, man, we're not generating some profit here. What's going on? And a guy next to me said, how come you guys are only opening every other weekend?
Oh.
So I went down there to find out. He wasn't opening it, wasn't doing nothing, but he was going in and taking money in games.
Nice.
So I just got my wife. We packed everything up, loaded it in a U-Haul, didn't tell him nothing about it. We drove it down to a flea market down in southern Indiana, and we took 4 weekends to sell it. I walked up to him and said, "Here's $2,000." I said I didn't tell him what I sold it for. I sold it for about $20,000.
Wow.
So there was a lot of stuff. So that being said, they got that over with. Me and my wife got together, and I kind of shrunk my collection because we lived in a small house and I didn't have room for it. Didn't want to store everything, so I did shrink it for a while. Then in 2007, I worked at General Motors, and my plant had closed, and I was actually laid off for 5 years. Then in 2012, they sent me a letter saying I could come to Missouri and work at a plant over here in Missouri. At that point, we were totally broke, so I sold everything in my collection, I had an NES set that had over 400 games. I'm talking a lot of the heavy hitters. I sold everything. Sold a Dreamcast collection that was 80% complete. Just sold everything I had except for my Wii, my GameCube, and my 360 because those were the modern consoles and it's what we had. We were playing. Then we kind of got back up on our feet over here and everything, and I decided when my daughter moved out in early 2018, it was time to start collecting again. So from January 2018, I've took her old bedroom in our apartment, squeezed 42 different systems in this bedroom and 2,000 games.
That
During that
took
year
some
and a
good
half,
organizing.
yes,
Oh my
and
God, yeah.
it's time to organize again. I've got a buddy getting ready to redo a whole section of the wall with new cabinets and everything. Yeah, as soon as I started collecting, I wanted the 64. I said that was the first set I went after. It took me 6 months to get the complete loose set.
That's pretty damn good. 6 months, that's quick.
Yep. But I did recently just sell the top 5 games because I had to pay rent because, General Motors is on strike and I don't have any money. But I will get those 5 games back. That's not a worry once we get back to work. Before the strike happened, I was working on a complete GameCube set. I'm only 74 away from completing that set, and I'm hoping to get back to that when we get back to work. Don't know what I'm going to go after then, but we'll see. My favorite console probably to play is probably the N64. That's why I went after that set. I played that one first coming out of high school, and I just really dug into that one.
Yeah, and you're okay with the controller, or do you have a brawler controller?
I'm all right with the N64 controller, but yeah, I've got 5 brawlers.
Nice.
Yeah, that's usually what most people do is play with the brawler instead of the original. I like the original controller.
I'm actually trying to collect all versions loose of the original controllers in working order. I still need the gold one and I need the Pikachu one. Other than that, I have them all.
Oh yeah, you're talking about
Wow.
like the Fantastic colors.
Yeah, I have all the fantastic ones. I even have the rare Donkey Kong banana one with the banana symbols on the bottom of it.
Nice.
Did that come packaged with the system?
Yes, there was a jungle green Donkey Kong system that had a yellow controller, but the ends, the 3 ends of the controller looked like the ends of a banana.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing that.
Yeah, I've seen it too.
I didn't even know it existed until I saw it on Nintendo's.
Yeah, it must be rare.
It better be. I paid a good penny for it. But I dabble in all sorts of games. I'm really big into the horror genre, horror games. I have a huge Resident Evil collection. But yeah, I do dabble in all sorts of games though.
So you're big in horror, huh?
Oh yeah, it's my main thing that I play. I've especially, the one great thing about this strike is I've had a backlog of games that I've been collecting. I've been knocking games off one after another like crazy.
Well, that's now you got the free time, you might as well do it, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's I would have did it too. Like, you got the time, might as well just sit there and play.
Heck yeah.
Now I know you guys all saw me streaming Splatterhouse the other day, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I got to the last boss on that game, and I've been working on that boss for 3 days.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I
But
caught some of that stream that you did with Splatterhouse.
Yeah, I think I fell asleep towards the end or maybe the middle of it. I made it through all of tonight's though, Mikey.
yes, you did, and tonight's was an
Tonight's
achievement.
stream was good.
Yeah, it was epic.
You should
What?
you should applaud him because he's in bed by like 7.
Oh, I am. I can't believe he's up.
Hey, I said this is exciting. I'm having a blast.
Now, you were talking
Yeah,
about tonight's stream. What game were you
yeah.
playing?
Tonight's stream, I played a survival horror game from the old school PC days. It was Seventh Guest from 1993, and I did something tonight that I've never been able to do. I actually beat the puzzle in the microscope, which is most people usually skip it. So that means I have beaten every puzzle in the game. No, clear as can be.
Well, that's quite the accomplishment. I don't know much about that game. I never heard of it, but I could see it when you were streaming, your excitement when you beat it. So I was like, oh, must have been quite the accomplishment then.
Oh yeah, I done texted my two buddies back in Indiana, and one of them responded like, "Seriously?" And I said, "It's on YouTube. You can watch it." So I was excited that the fact that not only did I do it, I have evidence that I did it.
Exactly. You recorded it. That makes it even better.
Yeah, you had me laughing. You're like, "Did I beat it? I beat it!" I was like, "Oh my god, man, that was great."
Yeah, I told the wife. I said I got to get. I'm going to spend $6 so I can get the digital download of 11th Hour, because I want to do that one now. That's the sequel to Seventh Guest.
What's that
And
game?
then
Is that same concept, same kind of game?
it's
Point
the
and click?
same concept, same type of game. It was released about 8 years after that one. But all this is getting in preparation. There was a Kickstarter 3 years ago for 13th Doll, which is a brand new fan made game, which will be a sequel to all of these. It'll be a part 3, and that comes out on Halloween. So I'm excited to get that and excited to try it out, and I want to stream it the moment I get it.
Nice. I never heard of that, but I
You
never.
definitely should play it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a long backlog for me. I really don't play games that much. I wish I had more time, but time is of the
Yeah,
essence.
time is the one thing that all of us struggle to get. I mean, I have trouble sometimes just playing a game for an hour sometimes.
Yeah, for me, it's between my kids, my family life, running the kids here, there, everywhere because they're real active, and doing the dust leaves and working a full-time job. I just don't have the time to play. But there will be coming a time. I talked to Bones about this before. There will be a time where I just sit down, and that's all I do. It might not be until when I get closer to retirement age, but that I'm telling you, that's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna game like all damn day for days straight.
Hell yeah.
Well, see, I'll tell you guys now. That is my achievement. That is what I'm now deciding I'm going to do with YouTube is why I've been pressing it this year and trying to actually grow my channel this year is I've got 20 years at General Motors. With my pension and everything, 10 more years, I could get out of there and live on the pension and do YouTube on the side and be happy.
Oh, nice.
Well, that's an accomplishment right there. Wow.
So that's what I told my wife. That's actually what I'm shooting for with my YouTube channel is maybe 2029 if I'm physically financially able to do it. I want to retire, and then at that point I'll live off the pension and YouTube and not actually be retired or anything. I want to draw Social Security or nothing. It was just an idea that I came up with. My wife kind of liked it.
Who wouldn't like
And
it? I mean, you're home.
yeah, you'll have lots of time to game hunt.
Yeah, I can game hunt on the side. I can stream. I can do everything I'm doing now, but with money coming in.
Right, you wouldn't have to worry about working anymore. I mean, technically, you can go out and just hustle, buy games, sell games.
Right. And I've been doing that for years, so I know all the trick and trades of that.
Yeah, I noticed that about your channel. I've seen like you on your channel buy games and flip them.
Yep.
You're pretty good at that. That's something that you should really consider doing. Keep at it.
If I had a good income to do it with right now, I would, but that's right now I'm just doing it to survive.
Yeah, I get you, but like you're wherever you're going, obviously is got the game, so it's something that you should, I mean, not do it on the side, even when you're working. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh, I do. Me and Pat both do actually. That's why you guys were talking to me about Pat that comes on my channel earlier about the TurboGrafx 16s that he got. He got 4 of them for $10 a piece. You can't beat that.
No,
No.
especially not for that console. Man, if I
Yeah.
would have known earlier.
Mikey's got good tips. Like he taught me to go to antique shops and start looking. So definitely, man, he knows how to shop.
Yeah, I prefer to game hunt a lot, and you notice you follow my channel. Me and my wife go out and we game hunt, and she's like the voice in my head because I told her I said I'll make money. I'm gonna work as much overtime as I want to work. I'm gonna go out and buy. You do the bills. You go with me to game hunt. You tell me whether I can buy or not buy this week. I don't even want to know what's in the bank account.
Yeah, honestly, it's kind of the same in my household too. My wife takes care of all the bills. I know very little about the money, and I don't. It's not that I don't choose to. It's just that that's the way it is. It's easier for one person to manage uh, the income than it is for both of us to try to sit there and figure it out. It's just easier that way.
Well, the problem we had before was I used to handle the money and she did the other part. Well, it got to the point where she was like, "I want to get this." Well, sorry, I went and bought all these games and stuff. We're broke. So I let her get the money, do what she wants to with it, and I'll be like, "Hey, I plan on going out and spending some money this weekend." Oh, we're broke. Oh, well, I'm gonna go work Sunday at work, get some double time. And next week, I'm gonna go out and get game hunt. Okay.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I understand that. It's definitely a lot easier when one person's handling it instead of two. And like you said, it gives your wife an opportunity to buy something that she might want, whereas you would have
Yeah,
just went and bought a video game.
yeah, because I have a tendency, just to go out and splurge whenever I feel like splurging.
I wish I could
Don't
say
we
the same.
all?
Hey, Bones, get out of here. You don't even get in this conversation. Stay out. Don't we all? What the hell kind of comment was that? Mister, I don't even have no kids. I live by myself.
Well, I go splurge sometimes.
You
What can
splurge
I
all the
say?
time. Shut the hell up.
I know.
Oh, yeah, I was dropping $1,200-$1,500 a weekend last year when I first started collecting.
Woof.
Wow, I never got to that point. I
Whoa.
could never afford that.
That's all that
Yeah.
double time Mikey's doing. That's what that is.
Oh yeah, there was one week there that I worked 14 hours for 7 days straight on a full check. Got that check, and I looked at her and said, "Hey, Bye, I'm gone. I've been on Facebook talking to people all week.
My wife would have slapped me in the face and said, no.
My wife felt bad in 2012 when we moved here and we had to sell all my collection to get, and we didn't have a couch. We didn't have, we had very, very little to do anything with because we had lost our house in 2009 and we're living with my parents. So all our furniture and everything had got rotten and we lost everything.
That sucks. I couldn't
So
imagine.
basically, when we moved over here, not only did I have to pay for the move, I had to pay to refurnish the house, get certain things, put our daughter in school, just all different things we had to do.
Yeah, priorities come first,
Yep. And that's why, I've been, you guys that see my videos, I've been selling off part of my collection right now. It's due to the GM strike. So far, I've managed to sell off stuff that doesn't really bother me. But after what goes on tomorrow, it sells on eBay. It looks like I'm gonna have to get into stuff that's gonna bother me, and like you said before, and everybody says I can always collect it again, though.
Yes, you might not get it for the dollar you had it, gotten it for before, but you can always get it back. Somebody's always selling. Like I said, it's probably not going to be the same price that you recently purchased it for, but there's always somebody out there willing to sell any game for
Right.
that matter. Money
Yeah,
talks.
I know a lot of people were surprised at when I went to Mo GameCon this year. I spent $500 at Mo GameCon, and I told them all. I said none of that came out of my bank account. Every bit of that came from trades and deals that I had been doing for the last month.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. That extra, when you trade, you sell, whatever the case may be, your extra games, your doubles, triples sometimes. Bones is quadruples.
Hey, hey, hi. You're getting some of
I was
those
waiting
doubles.
for you to chime in. But yeah, all that helps get you to where you want to be.
Yeah, and I know I bought a few of your dust sleeves for the 64s, and then you got to see that video I did where I showed off my boxed N64 collection before I sold off the boxes.
Yeah, I seen it. Yep.
There was 118 boxes there. It was quite a bit.
Wow, that's a lot, and there's only what 296, is it? N64 games, American
There's
release.
200. There's 296 in the American release, but I always call it 298 because the two Zeldas have two different style cases and games.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes, Majora's Mask they're both gold carts, but one has a hologram and one doesn't.
And they're different
Oh.
box art styles?
Yes.
Huh.
And Ocarina of Time, one is gray and one is gold, and both of those have different box arts.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, and I actually had the expensive collector's edition box art for Ocarina of Time, and I'd actually gotten it for free. So I sold that one for 50. I was excited.
Yeah, they went fast.
They went within 2 days.
Yeah, it's all about the way you put it out on the internet.
I did the whole thing through Facebook. All on Facebook Marketplace.
Nice. Did you sell to one certain person, or was it random everywhere?
I sold it random everywhere. I had a certain YouTuber, I'm not gonna name him, but he begged me to give him a price, and man, did he do nothing but want to lowball me.
It's typical, though. I am not gonna lie about that. everybody wants to try to get something cheaper, than what it's actually worth. That's the name of the game.
Right. Well, at the time, what he had, I had it listed for $1,000 was what I still had left. He wanted it for 500.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's not even. That's yeah.
That is ridiculous.
Oh, shut up, cheap ass.
And all I'm going to say is he's a local YouTuber here in Missouri. So he wouldn't even have had to have it shipped. He could have drove over here to give me to get it. He knows me personally.
Huh.
That really
makes
kind
it
of
better.
So I said no, and he goes. I offered him $550. I was just desperate for money. I had to pay rent, and he goes, well, let me think about it. I was like, okay, I'll let you think about it overnight. So at that point, I just started
$50 more. Is he gonna break his arm for $50? I mean, seriously.
I started selling, and I ended up making the $1,000 and actually a little bit more than that before the end of the night. But
Nice.
I did a marathon. I started at 10:30 in the morning, and I sold them all before midnight that night.
Wow. You sold
People
your ass
were
off.
going nuts on it.
Yeah, that's what happens when collectors realize, oh, I can get these boxes for a pretty decent price.
Yep, I was giving everybody discounts and knocking prices off. I was taking condition into factor, so everybody was happy with what they got. Never had any complaints.
That's the way you got to do it. And as long as you are good with what you got in return, then that's all that matters.
Oh, I sold them for a lot more than what I paid for them. I'll tell you that much right now.
Well, then there it is. That's your answer right there. You sold them for more than what you paid for them. That's all that matters. You got money in your pocket. I mean, it sucks that you had to sell it off, but on the other hand, you said room was an issue. So the best thing to do was probably to sell off your boxes and get something different.
Well, I was already planning on selling them next year at Mo Game Con at a vendor table, and I was also gonna get the cart covers from you, the dust covers from you, and display them that way. Well, I was like, well, if I'm gonna sell these there, I might as well sell these now to help pay bills.
Right. I mean, either way, you were selling them, so made sense.
I'm gonna try to make it through this strike without selling my systems. I don't mind the games as much as I do my systems, because getting a good working system all the time, and I've got a lot of limited edition systems, I really don't want to let them go.
Yeah, you got to think about it strategically and logically on what you want to get rid of first, and just work your way backwards pretty much from what you really want to keep to what you don't so want to keep, and it's easy to replace. You sell those first, and then you go backwards.
Yep. Right now I've got 100 NES games, 8-bit NES games on eBay in 3 different lots, split up, going for sale. Just people bidding on them like they want, and they ain't even the good titles. It's all the common junk titles.
They're still worth money.
I was going to say one person's junk is another person's treasure.
Yeah, I'm proof of that.
And I understand. I will collect these titles again. I've had these titles several times. I use these for trade bait all the time. But
they're easier to acquire. That's why you're selling them.
Right.
It makes sense.
And I did sell a few of the heavy hitters already. I sold Mega Man 1 through 6 already. But I've got Mega Man Legacy on the Xbox One. I've got Mega Man Anniversary on the GameCube. If I really want to play Mega Man 1 through 6, I have those.
Yeah, but in another fashion, it's like I always like collecting, and for me to sell Mega Man 1 through 6, if I had it, I think I only have 4. That would be pretty horrible in my opinion. But it's not something that you can't get back. And if you don't like the game, then that's another reason why you probably would sell it.
Yeah, I'm terrible at Mega Man games. I can't make it less than 2 minutes through a level without dying.
Yeah, I'm not that good at Mega Man either, but I've only played 4. I think that's what's the one I have. But I got better at it after a while. Like it just takes a lot of practice at that game.
I actually had 4 complete in box. I paid $40 for it,
My
and
sadly
sold it for 90.
Mine was complete, but I got it when I was a kid, and I threw the box away. Because back then it was like you just thought that was just the carton it was in. It wasn't like no big deal. It was a cardboard box. Like nobody thought.
Also space.
What was that?
Also space. I mean, there was so many boxes, and you only had your small little room.
Yeah, that too. Space was an issue back then.
Take a look at some of the older boxes. They actually say please recycle on them. So no wonder we threw them out.
Yeah, I know that as well. And the kicker to that was I saved the instruction manual. I saved I'm pretty sure there was a poster in that box, and
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
dust
there should
sleeve
have
that obviously they're black Nintendo logo dust sleeve, and the rest got thrown away. And I got that for Easter one year, and yeah, that sucks that I threw that box away. But I'm pretty sure everybody that was a kid back then was throwing those boxes away.
Oh, I guarantee you they were, or their parents were. That was just a part of the wrapping at Christmas. When you open
Right.
that up, that's what it was, part of the wrapping.
Unfortunately.
My parents learned to stop putting the NES games under the Christmas tree. One year we went and I was unwrapping everything. My dad goes, "You're not even unwrapping those." I said, "Oh, okay." And I unwrapped them and then just threw them to the side. And he kind of got puzzled. He picked up the boxes and was like, "What the games were gone." I took an X-Acto knife and slit the packages open, slid them open, opened them up, took the games out, and then rewrapped them.
Wow.
That is good, Mike. Oh my God.
I can honestly say I don't think I've ever done that one.
No, I didn't.
My ass would have been beat red if
I
they
would have
found
lost
out.
it.
Oh, I got beat for it.
My ass would have been bleeding.
My dad did say later in life, he said that was an ingenious thing to do.
I mean, yeah, I guess if they wrap them, like my parents were smart. They didn't wrap them like they would wrap, like you can tell that was an NES game or whatever game it might have been. They would wrap them in like one of those closed boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was no way of me telling that was a game. Even if I shook it, like it would still feel like they would trick me. They would put like enough in there so that way it felt like clothes. So yeah, there was no way for me to tell like, oh yeah, that one right there. And back then, like I still believed in Santa Claus, so like for me to like actually go down there and be like looking was not an option because I still believed in all those kids out there. Santa is real. God damn it.
Well, no, my parents ruined it the first year that we had. The first year when I got my NES, I got my NES for Christmas. They bought games for it, but they didn't buy the system. My aunt bought me my first system. And we don't open up those presents till later in the day at my grandmother's house.
Oh, so you opened up the NES games before you got the console.
No. We opened up all these presents, and then there was a stack of these little boxes. And I'm like, well, what are these? They're labeled to me. They go, oh, you can't open those till you get to grandma's. I'm like, what? So when we got there and I opened up this big package and it's the Nintendo Action Set, I was like, oh, okay, so those must be Nintendo games. So from there on, every Christmas, I knew that packages like that were Nintendo games.
Wow. Santa Claus, you got to do better, man. Any questions you guys have for Mikey? Linda, Bones?
Mikey, what do you think of the awesome Virtual Boy? Would you collect that?
The Virtual Boy. I've had one in the past. played it. It kind of, hurt your eyes and everything. So, no, I do not want to collect one.
All right, I thought so.
Not even if you were offered one at a good price.
I turned one down before for $50.
Oh, yeah, you're not getting one ever then.
Maybe
Maybe
you're
what
better
if,
off
all right, hold
flipping
on.
it.
What's your price limit? What if it was $10?
Well, nowadays, if I bought one for 10 or 15, the $50 was years ago. If I got one for $50 to $75 and then they proved to me that it worked and I didn't have to do any repairs to it, I would probably buy it just to flip it.
So you wouldn't buy it to keep it. You would buy it to flip.
Right.
Yeah, okay, I got you.
Honestly, it's just a console that, as you know, I wear glasses and my eyes still aren't the best. I don't really want to sit there and squint through that console.
Well, not only that, I played it one time. I never owned one, but my friend had it. That red in there, it does irritate your eyes. I don't know what they were thinking when they made that. Like, they could have did something better. As far as
Dollar bill, y'all. That's what they were thinking. Money, money.
Power
yeah,
glove.
but Power Glove. Another failed attempt by Nintendo.
I've got a
Yeah.
real big failed attempt up here. I've got the Nintendo U-Force complete in box. You ever heard of that one?
Oh,
I have one too, complete in box. Yeah.
My
That's not
parents,
very fun either.
my parents bought me this back in the day when this was released. This thing is a piece of junk.
The flight thing actually does kind of work though. The sticks.
I've
That
actually never
works.
bothered with it.
The punch out is ridiculous. It's so stupid. It does not work. I agree. It is a piece of crap. That was one of those. Yeah, it looks like a great idea on paper, but yeah, it was not executed properly.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm not sure what you guys are talking about. I don't remember that.
It looks like a laptop.
Yeah.
And
Huh.
you're supposed to be able to play with your hands through it. It's got a sensor on both parts, and it's supposed to read you.
Yeah.
It does not work.
That's a gimmick and a half.
Yeah, how about it, Mikey? You have the power.
Yep. I bought mine last year at a flea market down at Six Flags here in Missouri. They do a flea market every spring. They turn the whole parking lot into a swap meet. I bought mine for $20 complete in box just to
Nice.
have it and put it on the shelf.
That's all you need it for.
Yeah, because I ain't playing it.
Yeah.
I tried that when I was a kid. I was like, what is this? I remember breaking it in half because I couldn't figure it out.
Jeez. What about laser scope? You ever had that?
The laser scope.
It's
You're talking
it's
about
a headpiece that you put on, and you say fire, and it fires.
Oh, no, I've never had that. And I actually was really close to picking that up at an estate sale last year. I was grabbing an Atari and a NES and a bunch of other stuff, and a guy reached over and grabbed that laser scope thing you're talking about. It was sitting on the side of it. So,
Hey, Linda, what about you? Have you heard of it?
Yeah.
Do you,
It was.
have
It
you ever
was.
tried it?
It was very heavy on your head for a kid.
Yeah, it was. What about you, Bones? Laser scope?
I've looked at it already. I've considered buying it. That's more of just like a novelty thing for me to collect.
You can actually see mine. I have it.
Oh, well, I'll check it out when I pop over.
Yeah.
I just haven't really broke down and bought it. It's one of those things, like I said, it's going to be a shelf piece.
I
So
mean, that's
eventually
really
I'm
all it
sure
is
I'll
anyway.
pick one up because it was something that came out back in the day. I remember seeing it advertised and I never had one.
And honestly, they advertised the crap out of that thing.
Yeah, they did.
It has a little bit of a flaw. Like Linda said, it is kind of heavy. It's kind of front heavy. But that's us as a kid. Like me wearing it now doesn't really bother you too much. Like as an adult. But basically, you just point that little red. There's like a little red aiming thing. You point it at the screen. You say fire, and it actually does fire where you point it to. So it's not really that flawed in my opinion.
Oh, that's cool.
What about you, Linda? You said you used it, you played it?
Yeah, when I was a kid, somebody else had it. I can't remember at the time, but yeah, it worked. It was just so bulky, and with me wearing glasses at the time, awkward. You literally had to shove your glasses up against your head, and then you had to put it onto your head, and then it was like you literally felt like you're a big head. Like you literally like that George Lopez
Yep.
joke where she's like my baby with a big head.
Yep.
That's how I felt. Mikey, is there any like price limit? Like what is when you're going to buy a video game, is there any like rule on what you will not buy, like price limit?
No, not per se. I can't really tell you that there is a price limit. If it's an expensive game, I do try to trade it for it. But like when I finished off my N64 set last time, those top 5 games, I just bought them off eBay. I really wasn't going to buy the N64 set as quick as I did. I traded up for most of it. But when I got to where I only had 8 left, I was like, oh, forget this looking around for them. I just went ahead and bought them. I worked some overtime and bought them just to complete the collection. And I'm afraid when I do my GameCube set that I'm probably going to end up having to do that for a few of those.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's how it goes
Yeah.
when it comes to collecting, especially those higher end titles. You kind of have no choice because of the way the market is, but to pay that price.
The one thing that's going to drive me nuts about the GameCube set is I'm not a fan of Pokemon. I'll tell you that right up front. I do not like playing Pokemon games. And I'm really thinking about buying that Pokemon box for the GameCube. It's going up to $500.
Wow.
Woo! And me
I'm
and
like,
Bones were just talking about this, the Pokemon system. How I'm not in the Pokemon, he's not in the Pokemon, but we would both buy that console because that console is pretty nice looking.
actually, I just passed up an opportunity last year to buy one.
Wow. Should have
Opportunities
jumped
for
on that
that
one.
is slim to none, especially at a
Yep,
decent price.
the lady sold the console and 2 controllers for $175.
Oh,
Oh my lord, that's a steal.
yep. And we were actually, before we started the podcast, I was talking to Dan and Mikey in the hangout there, and we were talking about the Vectrex. Now, at my retro store, it's been a while ago now. My retro store, they had the Vectrex in box with I think one game, and it was between that and the 32X. And at the time, I wanted the 32X bad, which I failed to mention to Mikey and Dan when we were talking. But I wanted the 32X bad, and I didn't have enough cash flow to get both. And at the time, I was like, I was really looking for a 32X, so I bought the 32X, and it was complete, minus the styrofoam insert. So I went with the 32X. Needless to say, the Vectrex was $100.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, I probably would have bought it for $100 and probably would have flipped it because I'm not a big Vectrex fan. But yeah,
No, I would have
Yeah,
definitely
me
kept it.
neither.
I would have kept it. There was no way I'm flipping that.
Is there any screen layovers or anything like that with it?
Not that I know of. There could have been. I just wasn't really looking at it because I was like, oh, it's a Vectrex. And then I was like, oh, it's a 32X. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the 32X.
yeah, I still need to get me a 32X if I decide to go that route.
32X
Yeah,
is
I
nice,
bought one. It is nice to have in box. I
especially
like having it.
especially if you have the CD, the Sega CD as well. And
Oh,
you
I've
could,
got a Sega CD and I've got several Segas, but I've had 32Xs in the past when before I sold my collection off. I just haven't came across one cheap enough yet.
the great thing about that is that there's a few games that are Sega CD 32X compatible, so it's a nice little
Yeah.
combination.
Mikey,
No,
I have a
yeah, go
question
ahead.
for you.
Yep.
You just did your 7th guest live stream, and you said that's one of your favorite games and like one of your most nostalgic ones that you played. Now, you said they make that on the CDI. Would you ever
Yes.
consider buying the CDI just so you could have that game on a home console?
I've physically been looking for a CDI for years just for that reason.
Ah, cool.
I actually did not know that it was on the CDI until I was watching another YouTuber by the name of Scott Squatch down in Florida.
I
And
think I know who you're talking about.
I think I do too.
he went down, he went to buy a Nintendo 64 off a guy and a bunch of games, and the guy let him in his house, and he goes, hey, I got this other system here that's in a box. I don't know what I'm doing with it. You want it for $20? He opens it up, and it's a Philips CDI. It had Seventh Guest, a couple other games in it with it. It even had the Hotel Mario and one of the bad Zeldas. And he scored it for $20. But I was flipping out because I didn't know Seventh Guest was on a console at all until then.
Wow.
So yeah.
I didn't know that had a physical release either. Until just now. So
Man, there's so many ports and so many systems that have obscure games that I've been recently just buying books on that just to see, like, is there any ports that I want?
and that's the beauty of
Many
collecting.
Japanese. Yeah, there's Japanese obscure consoles that never got good releases that 8 games for that one system, and that system's like $5,000 just to get it.
Oh my lord.
Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about there.
That's a
Well,
little too
especially-
rich for my blood.
Yeah, especially when they import everything over here, like, and then they realize, oh, that's what this is. Oh, okay, so let's jack up the price because we're going to consider this rare now.
Sad but true.
Yeah,
very
I'd love to
true.
collect a Neo Geo, but it's just too expensive to collect for.
I might be getting one here real soon.
Well, that'd be awesome. I considered it, but I don't know. The games alone, you're looking at hundreds of dollars for most of them.
What's the run on the console?
300-400 easy.
The
If you
guys
want
that
one with a controller and, a fairly good shape. If you get one in box, it's even more.
Well, that
Yeah,
goes for most consoles.
I'm paying $400 for the box one.
See, that's a good deal though.
He's holding it until we get back to work and get our bonuses and everything.
Nice. I would definitely jump on it.
That's going to be a great pickup video.
Yep. I just had to wait for him to get up. He said as soon as he get us up to Michigan to get it, because it's at his mom's house. It's in her basement. It's been sitting there for probably 15 years.
Wow.
That's amazing, isn't it? Just sitting there.
He said he'll come. He's gonna come back and show me everything that he comes back with, and I'm gonna make him an offer on everything.
You know, the funny thing is, a lot of collectors that used to collect, they're like that. It's in my mom's house. It's packed away. And it's rare that you come across someone like that. But there's a lot of people that do that. They don't care about the games anymore. They just pack them up and they stay in storage units or wherever forever. And so they finally realize, oh, you like games? Oh, hold up. I got, if you're interested, I got some games for you for sale.
Well, it's a really funny story of how it happened. I was actually at work. He's a manager, and I'm a regular employee. We were in a training class together, and we were supposed to be taking a break, whatever. Well, I was editing a video that I was planning on releasing later that day. I was editing it on my phone. He goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "Oh, I have a small YouTube channel." Da da da. He goes, "Oh," he goes, "I used to be into games." He goes, "I got all that stuff at my mom's house and everything." And I said, "Well, the next, got to talk with him. I told him the next time he's up in Michigan, see what he has, and then we'll make a deal with it later." And so we're still working out that deal.
I've never met anybody that said that to me, so I haven't gotten lucky like that.
I've had things given to me, like, it wasn't the best stuff, but, like, I'm never going to turn anything down that's video game related. I had a black Wii with, like, 10 games given to me. It's just people don't want it anymore, and they're like, here, you can have it. That's the beauty of telling people that you are a gamer or you collect?
I had a black Wii given to me last year with about 15 games. And I still have that Wii. It's in the front room. We have a Wii in every room of the house now.
Yeah, it's kind of like me. I got 4 Wiis. So a Wii in my
I
room, a Wii downstairs, a Wii in my actual game room, a Wii in the back room. Yeah. So
The only one I don't have right now is the blue one. I want to find a light blue one. I want one in box.
I actually have the blue one and I have the box.
I only have white and black.
I got white, black, and blue. The only one I'm missing is the red mini.
I have the red mini and the black one and the white one all complete in box. My red one is loose though. I have a solid red one, the regular red that's loose.
Oh yeah, I forgot that came out. The red one, the
Yeah.
regular. Yeah, I didn't
I
even
saw
know.
that
I
on
forgot
your
about
video. That was nice.
I got that one at the flea market right here next to my town I live in for $30 from some Russians.
The sky blue one that you're referring to, that came out. It was a Black Friday special at Walmart.
Oh, it was?
Yeah. That's where I was standing in line for that one. They had that was like way after the Wii was released that they released that special blue one, and it was like I said, they had it at Walmart. They had a whole stack base of them, and nobody was buying them because it was just nobody wanted it. Everybody already had a Wii that wanted it. So I didn't have to stand in line. I didn't have to wait for it. All I did was went over there and got it. So
You know what's funny? Out of all the systems that were ever given to me, they've always been Nintendo. They've been Wiis, they've been 64s. It's like those systems were so mass produced and everybody had one. Everybody's kid had one. Everybody's cousin had one. There was always so many of them around. I was always given those systems.
Yeah, I'll tell you the reason why it's big, because it's family oriented. So most families, even mom, like your mom, dad, whatever, like they would even attempt to play it. So like that was just like it still is today. It's a family console. They'll never change that.
Funny thing is, that guy that gave me the Wii, about a month later, he was cleaning house over Easter weekend. He calls me up and goes, "Hey, I just found a Sega Genesis in a closet. You want it?" I was like, "Sure." And he gives it to me, and I didn't grow up with the Sega, so I really don't know much about the Sega Genesis. I get him, I'm like, okay, cool. He had an official Sega Genesis arcade stick with it. He had a complete in-box copy of Shadowrun, a complete in-box copy of General Chaos, and a complete in-box copy of Lightning Force.
Wow.
Nice.
All those games are expensive. I was like, what is this?
That's what I'm saying, man. Everybody don't realize what they got.
And honestly, that's not bad sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I mean, I would honestly, if somebody was like, if they were like offering it to me and I knew it was worth something, I would probably try to give them something for it, because that's just the type of person I am. I'm not gonna be like, oh, you got Earthbound complete in box? Oh, okay, I'll take it.
I don't feel good about lowballing people.
Me either.
Even sometimes online, if I go to an eBay auction and it says, say, $3.99 or best offer, I pay the person $3.99. I don't try to nickel and dime you. $3.99 is a fair price. You're giving me free shipping with it. $3.99 is a fair price. I don't try to nickel, because honestly, I don't feel good about myself if I get you for too much money like that. That's not right. Everybody should get a fair price for something that they're selling.
Yeah, at least a fair price. Like I said, unless the person was like, no, 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 and they just kept on saying, no, I don't want it, then all right, I'm not gonna sit there and argue with you about giving you a little bit of money for something that was probably worth a lot of money, and you're just practically giving it to me. Like, I'm not gonna argue about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Funny thing you guys tell me about that. Back when I said I had that video game store back in 2001, the story of how I got the games for that to start that store was an amazing story itself. Me and my friend, my partner, was going around trying to find yard sales and flea markets and stuff to collect stuff. Well, me and my mom, our washing machine and dryer had broke, and we were at the local laundromat and there was a sign up that said NES console and your choice of 5 games for $25. So I called this number and I was like, what do you mean by your choice? And she goes, oh, you come over here, you can get a console and you can have the games for $25, 5 games for $25. Any games. I got plenty of games. So I get over there and this lady, you know, she's got this huge stereo cabinet, these old style stereo cabinets. Got 5 of them lined up. And altogether, it was like 700 games. And there was a lot of duplicates, but there was a lot of heavy hitter titles. I looked at her and said, so I get a console, I get to pick from any of these 5 games for $25. And she goes, yeah. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to throw this out there. And I told her, I said, hey, I said, me and a buddy of mine said, we're thinking about starting a video game store. We're wanting to buy, sell, and trade and do this stuff. I said, I'd like to purchase all these. And she goes, oh, you would? I said, yeah. How many systems do you have? She goes, I got 9 systems. No, I think she had 9 or 10 systems in the closet. She said she's been buying them at yard sales over the years. And I looked at her and said, well, how much do you want for all this? And she goes, honestly, I've had that flyer up for almost a year. No, you're the first person that's called. She goes, I need this out of the house. She goes, if you give me $100, you can have the whole thing.
Wow.
Wow.
Holy moly.
So I bought it all. And we'd already been collecting some stuff. So that's what started my video game store back in the day, was that $100 in her collection.
That's crazy. Like, the chances of you ever finding that, like, slim to none.
She probably
That-
was somebody who thought that I can make a quick buck off of buying like all this stuff, probably saw something, and then realized, oh snap,
No,
now
she
nobody wants to
said
buy it.
She probably
She
found
said
those
her-
games cheap, like $1
She
or
just
something.
didn't want them anymore.
she said her grandkids were playing them, but now that the Super and the other stuff, I think we were in
Oh,
the Nintendo 64 and the PlayStation eras. I think it was when it was the late 90s. The kids didn't want to play them. She said they hated them. And they were just sitting there. And what she had done over the years is so she could get games at yard sales because people didn't want to part just the games. She would buy everything in a lot. And she figured if one broke, she would have extras.
Well, that's smart.
So
That's smart because that's what BoneZ does.
Hey, man, that's my family secret right there.
don't worry, BoneZ. I do the same thing, but then I part away with the stuff I don't
No,
want.
he doesn't part. There's no part with BoneZ.
no, he doesn't.
Well, eventually I part.
Stop. You don't part.
You know what was funny today? Actually, I saw an NES out at the one thrift shop I went to, and it was only priced for like $60, which usually when you see them out, they're like $70. People are asking. I think they should be $50. My personal opinion, but
The original NES, you said?
yeah,
Yeah.
the Super NES they had labeled for 65 there.
Where are you shopping at? I said, I buy those things all day long for $10 to $20.
That's the one shop they have markups on theirs. It's just
Oh.
the way it is for them. I don't buy much from them. If they don't have a deal going, I don't buy.
I actually did buy a console today.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I picked up today too, Mikey.
I wasn't really wanting to do a video, pick up video. It was just something I bought, knowing I can flip it because I paid, bought a PS2 Fat, had 2 controllers, all the cords, and 5 memory cards for $20 at a Goodwill.
Ooh,
Wow.
what a steal.
Well, the good thing is my PS2, both of mine, my Slim and Fat, had actually just took a crapper on me last week when I was trying to make a video.
Did it really?
So I'm going to part out the cords, the controllers, and all the memory cards to make my money and keep my PS2 to use.
So what happened to your other PS2, you know?
The Slim, for some reason, it will not open. The door mechanism broke. and it actually has a Resident Evil game stuck in it. I'm gonna have to take it apart to get it out because I'm not losing my Resident Evil game.
Oh, I don't blame you.
And my PS2 Fat, when I went to turn it on, it started smoking.
Oh, that's not good.
That's a bad power supply.
Well, I bought that one at a Goodwill last year when I first started collecting for $10. It's worked for a year, so not bad.
Yeah, what do you expect from Goodwill? You know what I mean? You don't know what you're getting.
But we've lost so much weight. My wife's trying to find clothes because I can't really buy clothes right now that we got much money. She's trying to find some pants to wear to work. And I walked over there, it's like $20. What? And I started looking at it and I was like, this looks in nice shape. It's actually a really good condition PS2.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, somebody took care of it.
Yeah, I was trying to shoot a video. I got the video shot of me trying the Resident Evil 4 chainsaw controller on the PS2 because I have the controller, but I've never used it.
What'd you think of it?
Terrible.
I was gonna say it's got to be awkward and shitty, man.
Well, you have to. It's a prop more than anything. It's just something to keep in your collection.
Yeah, it looks great on the shelf.
Right.
But the button layout for this thing, I'm trying to play Resident Evil 4, and I couldn't figure out how to shoot. And it was driving me nuts because I kept hitting the wrong button. I kept pulling the knife out instead of the gun. I was like, oh, this is horrible.
That's crazy. Yeah, you guys are picking up stuff, and I'm making stuff.
Yeah, we keep you busy.
Yeah, you try anyway.
Oh,
well,
don't
I thought
worry.
I was.
When I get back to work, I'm going to keep him really busy.
Oh, great.
Yeah, we're going
Is
to
that a
overload
challenge?
you, Chris, so look out.
As soon as I get back to work, I'm going to just N64, probably do the whole set.
At once?
Probably.
What?
Oh, you're going to be swamped.
That ain't going to take too long. It won't. Ask Bones. I pretty much...
Yeah, I'm about halfway through already, Mikey.
And that's what, 3 orders?
Yeah, like 2 orders of 50, an order of 30. So yeah, I'm almost halfway through.
How long did it take me, Bones? Not long at all.
Sometimes I tell him, Mike, and he's like, yeah, they're already done. So I don't even have to worry about it.
Oh, I'm going to get them. I just have to get back to work and start getting money again. But
now,
yeah.
for you to, if you seriously do like the whole set, yeah, it's going to take some time. I ain't going to lie. That's a lot. And depending on my schedule, I usually do them when I have free time because of, I work full time and all that. But they do get done in a fairly quick manner as long as I don't have any current projects that I'm working on.
There's no rush on them.
Oh yeah, I know. Bones does the same thing.
I'm not gonna do anything with them. I'm hoping I don't have to sell anymore, but we'll see.
Actually, there's a special project that I'm working on for Bones soon, so you might be seeing that shortly.
Cool.
As soon as I get the game that I need to do it.
He told me he was gonna have you sleeve something out of the ordinary.
Yeah, it's definitely out of the ordinary.
Couple.
One I posted on my Instagram. That one everybody knows about. Well, at least that follows me on Instagram. It's the Corvette PS2 game. It will have its sleeve now. With his logo will be incorporated somewhere on it.
Cool.
The other one, I'm being quiet on the other one.
Yeah, I haven't said anything either.
I did take a shot and post on Instagram the material, but you really can't tell what it is because of the angle and the way I'm holding it. So just a little hint as to what I'm doing. But yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind challenges. You can ask Dan that once we're done the podcast. He'll tell you. Because that guy comes up with some of the craziest stuff that you would never think would ever use a sleeve. But I get it done. And let me tell you.
I never really thought about the different things you can sleeve or any of that stuff. I've always
Yeah.
just tried to find the obscure things to collect.
This
Ben did a sleeve for me for a couple PS2 games. Just bought some games and I couldn't find the cover art for him. He did it for me.
Oh yeah, you're talking about inserts, Linda. Yeah, I do those.
I know.
Sometimes.
I'm just saying you do everything now.
Speaking of that, I do have one that I need an insert for that really bad.
It's funny you say that because Dan is doing the same thing. He's sending me a couple empty Genesis carts so I can print out the inserts for him. Now the inserts right now I don't have the paper down, but I can definitely do the art, the box art with no problem. Just the paper is an issue. But Linda seems to not care about that. She said they look good.
Right.
Oh, they look fine.
I'd just be happy if it looked better. It's got one of those Hollywood video inserts on it.
You got the rental store insert.
Yeah, it's Silent Hill 3. The game is perfect. The manual is still in it, but it has the Hollywood video insert on the outside. I was like, ugh.
Yeah, I think I test drive like that. It's ugly.
It sticks out like a sore thumb on the collection, right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. I might be able to fix that.
Just sleeve it, man. Sleeve it.
I can either sleeve it or put an insert in it.
Yep.
Or both.
Honestly, I'd sleeve everything before I do inserts. That's just me. That's my personal preference. But I would have you actually make a sleeve like you're going to do for the Corvette. And that's what I would use instead of actually having
I'm down for anything.
Oh, I know. And I told you I'm going to keep swamping you with some weird ones.
All right, I already know.
Probably not as weird as Dan, though.
No, nothing compares to Dan. You can't throw anything at me that Dan hasn't, like, topped you on.
I know.
Some of that stuff, like, honestly, I'm not even going to lie. One of Dan's, just one of them, took me a year to find.
Wow.
Yeah. It took me a year to figure out how to make the sleeve, how to design it, and then after that, I had to figure out how to find the box art because of some of those games that he asked for. Yeah, it's just damn near impossible to find. So I had to be creative on that, and he liked them, so that's all that matters in the end.
I will say, Chris, you got a good eye. You could literally just kind of guess where everything is, and then I'll find the box art, and I'll be like, "Hey, this is what the box art looks," and you'll show me the picture. I'll be like, "Dude, you were spot on exactly like where placement would be and everything."
Yeah, honestly, a lot of that is just digital recreation, me actually doing the work. Unfortunately, that takes a lot longer than just me finding a box art scan and just fixing it. But I try my best to get it to look as close to the original as I can.
I know these N64 ones I got. I bought these 15 off of you. They look perfect.
Yeah, I love mine too.
You should. Oh, by the way, Bones, are you gonna post that picture you sent on Instagram?
Yeah, I can.
Do it, and let that way they can see it. He started putting his whole setup. It looks better than I anticipated, because I never seen a whole set like of the N64 sleeves together on a shelf. It looks a lot better than I thought it would. And he's got it. You said you got the end spine down, right, facing up.
Yeah, so you see the N64 logo at the bottom where it's
bottom of the
red,
sleeve
and then you have the name above it. Let me, yeah.
So it's definitely, it looks really good. The last picture he sent is actually he got the order today, and I didn't think he was going to get it that quick. He got it today, and he put them all up, and he sent me a picture real quick. I was like, wow, I didn't anticipate them looking that good together, but they actually do.
I can't wait to see what they're going to look like on my shelf.
Oh, it's going to look great, Mikey.
Right now, it looks kind of funny. I'm sitting in the game room. I've got the lights off, and I got a black light on. So right now, they're shining at the black light. It's pretty cool.
Hey, A new feature that I didn't know about. The shining from the black light. You want some glow in the dark ink? Oh man. Any other questions for Mikey?
Yeah, I had one more, but now that I logged on to put that picture on there, I forgot what the heck it was.
Oh, you're doing it right now.
Yes, and I tagged you properly, Chris.
Hey, you getting it? You're getting it. See, Mikey, even BoneZ is learning. It's your turn to start learning.
I know.
Mikey, Chris had to show me everything. I am not very good with computers, so he's been helping me a lot.
I guarantee you, if I got on, I could probably figure it out.
Yeah, it's not too complicated.
Let's post it. Okay.
Every time I go to get on something to do something, I was like I came in here earlier. I was supposed to just come in here and get something out of the game room. All of a sudden, my wife hears screaming coming from the TV, and she goes, "Did you turn Splatterhouse on again?" I said, "Yeah."
Why not, right? You're in there. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, that's one of my downfalls is everything I've got is pretty much at ease. I've got a video game console hooked up in every room of the house. So I walk into a room, I usually just pick up a controller and then go, okay, what am I playing?
Nice.
No, mine's pretty much all in one area.
You said you had how many systems, Mike?
42.
Wow.
I don't know how many I have. I never counted.
That includes handhelds, correct?
Yeah, it's not. I call it 42 different systems because it's 42 different versions, is what I call it.
All right, so you're
Like
talking about
okay.
multiple versions of one console?
Yes, I don't have.
Okay.
I don't know exactly. I haven't counted that, but when it comes up in my Game Eye app, it comes up as 42 systems. It was 43, but I just sold the Master System.
Okay, so you're talking about your doubles and stuff.
Yeah, like the Wii counts as I got 4 systems.
Right, because you got all the colors.
Wow, that's still a lot.
Oh yeah, yeah. Any other questions? Linda, you have a question?
Is there any specific controller that you want to pick up for any of your consoles that you're trying to look for?
Controller. I would like to, when I get back to work, I'm wanting to get the RetroBit controller for the Sega Genesis Mini. I know that, the 6-button one.
Nice.
But no, I do kind of want an Elite controller for my Xbox One. I play a lot on my Xbox One. I want an Elite controller for that, but I just haven't been able to justify spending $150 on an Elite controller.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
kind of a
God, I didn't
lot.
know it was that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 150.
I almost died when I bought a Pro controller for the Switch and it was like $70.
I have 4 of those.
Oh my God.
I have 4 of those.
But you use your modern systems more, so you do need them.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. When I'm at work, we play Mario Kart at every break. every downtime, we sit at a break table. 4 of us sit there. We link our switches. We get 6 to 10 or 6 to 12 races in every break.
God damn, you got a lot of time on your hands.
we all play. We all play with Pro controllers. I've got one where the right or the left joystick doesn't even move anymore. I got to get it fixed. So that's one of the reasons I've been buying them on sale. Every time they go on sale for $30 or $40, I try to just grab an extra one.
Oh, that's smart.
Where is that at?
Best Buy throws them up on sale every once in a while.
Okay, thank you.
But it's like, yes, now I'm gonna get some.
Oh, no, I need a Pro controller.
Oh yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I don't even have.
I need one for the Wii U.
I have 2 blacks and a white one. The 2 blacks stay in the game room. The white one stays in the front room with the white Wii U in the front room.
I know you said before, but I know I didn't hear it correctly. What count were you up to in your video game collecting?
Right around 2,000. I don't have an exact count right now because I've been selling stuff and I've not been to not make it as emotional to me. I've decided not to take anything off my library. And when it's all over, I'm going to then delete everything and go through my library because I've got so much stuff up for sale. I don't want to take it out of my library until it's sold and gone.
Is there ever enough video games, Mike, that you would stop collecting because you have too much?
That's not such a thing. There's no such thing as too many.
All right, that's what I wanted to hear.
Thank
buddy.
you. Yay.
Me and April are already talking about here in the next couple of years to buy a house. I'm going to get a full basement. I'm going to dedicate 5 areas to video games and a YouTube studio.
Awesome, man.
Oh, and an arcades, and a small one-up arcade place.
Well, you're reaching
man.
for the sky now.
Yeah, you want to talk to somebody with arcade one-ups, talk to Dan. He's got a bunch.
Dan can talk to you about that easily.
Oh, I was watching Cool Toy do his spiel on the Turtles one-up cabinet today.
Dan pre-ordered that. Or he bought it. He bought it already. He got it. He got it from Walmart online. He was telling us.
If I was to walk up to it, I'd probably just fall on my knees and cry right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna record that. That'd
okay,
be
well,
epic.
the thing is with that cabinet, right? I took a photo of it at Walmart, and I actually showed it to Dan and Bones, and I think Linda too. Did I show you that? I think
Yeah, you showed me that.
Yeah. All right. So the only downside that I could see is that they didn't use the original Turtles at the bottom of it, where the riser's at, which Nickelodeon must have licensed it to them and said, "Listen, this is what we want at the bottom of the riser, and that's it. We're not using the old school Ninja Turtles." But at the top of the cabinet, that seems legit. Like, it seems like everything is what it's supposed to be. But that riser sucks. Riser throws it off.
Yeah.
Cool Toy was talking about that today. He said that Nickelodeon does own the rights, and the only time you see Konami is when you turn it on and you're booting up each game.
Right, because Nickelodeon owns Turtles. Konami
did
doesn't really have anything.
They just sold it.
Oh, they sold it?
CBS Viacom just bought them.
What?
Get out of here.
Oh.
Nope. It happened about a week and a half ago.
Wow.
Easy.
And CBS is doing something that I've been dreaming of for years.
They're going to bring the old Turtles back?
No, not that series. The 2003 series, the one that Fox Kids did.
Yeah, I remember that series.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
It's just about as good as the old Turtles.
Actually, that's my favorite series.
You like that series? I like the old one better.
I love it. I'm actually watching the old one every time. And when I go in there and go to bed, I watch it on a Blu-ray player next to my bed every day. I watch an episode before I go to sleep. But anyways, that 2003 series are very obscure to find those discs. Because it was during the transition when they were putting them on DVD. Funimation was putting them on DVD, and Nickelodeon bought them, and Nickelodeon said, "This is too edgy for us. We're not releasing this." There's actually one season of that was never released. So CBS is going to go back and re-release all those in a box set, and that's the only set that I don't own, a complete set of.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, at least you're going to get it now.
Yeah, well, the 2 that I'm missing for one DVD is $250.
Woohoo!
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man.
That'd be a pass for me.
I'm willing to pay for it. That's how big of a Turtles nut I am.
I mean, I love the Turtles, don't get me wrong, but I'm not paying $250 for a movie or, a series. Sorry. I can't see you spending that much.
Well,
Eh,
I mean, if you want it, you want it.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
I'm
just
gonna
like
end up
games.
spending money
Same
on a
thing.
game
Right.
for, the 64 that I'm gonna spend over $200 at one point or another. I know that for a fact because of what they go for. But if you want it, you want it.
Clay Fighter.
Yeah,
Yep.
no kidding. Linda,
Well,
keep your eyes open for that when you're out and about. Clay Fighter, Clay Fighter.
get ready.
Oh.
What is it? It's either Super Bowling or Stunt Fighter has also went up to $300.
Oh, I did a little looking today, Mike, and I was like, $299. Oh, this one's over 200. Oh my God.
It's all because there's idiots out there that pay those prices.
I know. And
If
I have to be one
nobody
of them, I
paid those
guess.
prices for those games, they would all go down.
Yep. Well,
Sad but true.
those of us that are trying to complete the collection, that's how we got to complete it, though.
Yeah. Unless I can find one cheaper somewhere.
Unless you find somebody that doesn't know what they have.
You could always take all your quadruples and everything and trade up for it.
He's not going to do that.
No, they're going to Chris. I sent him pictures. I said, what you don't have and you want, you can have. I'll just start all over again.
Oh,
I tried offering him money, but he was like, no.
I don't take money for it. Like I said, you know what? That money doesn't make me happy. Video games and other people make me happy. And if that's what I like to do, that's what I like to do. I've given away DuckTales 2 for free. I don't have a problem with that. Like
oh my Lord.
it's just nothing. The happiness and joy that brings someone else is what makes me happy. I'm the type of person to give a homeless person $20. I'm just that kind of person. That makes me feel good about myself and I feel good for them. That's what I do. I've always been like that. I've been walked all over for it, but I still prefer to be that way in life.
Yeah, I have
I'm
been walked
happier
over
about
too.
myself.
Same deal with me. I have been walked on plenty of times, but I'll keep doing it. Come on,
Yeah, because I'm still a better person.
I offer the dust sleeves at cost. I'm not making anything on these. And just imagine how much time I put into each one.
Oh, I know. You put a lot of time into them.
And that's not even the editing that I'm talking about. I'm just talking about just the sleeve making process alone. The editing even takes longer than that. Like if you see any imperfections on a box, the imperfection is usually not there by the time I'm done because I go in there and I digitally recreate everything. So all those take time, and just imagine how many boxes I've already done. That's why I'm like graphically I know a lot because of what I do.
Oh yeah.
But
Mike, you're
that's
gonna love it when you get the whole set.
but that's the segment.
You're gonna have that whole set sleeve before I will. So I want to see a video of that because I already know for a fact you're gonna have it done before I will.
The moment I get back to work, and if we get a good enough signing bonus where I get back on my feet, the cost of me doing this set is nothing.
But that's a segment about myself that we're going to leave for something else. We're actually planning on doing a podcast about me. You know how you guys have your own, like Retro Mikey, you had yours today, where we kind of like let you talk and ask you questions and discuss things.
Yep.
We're doing the same thing for me eventually. I don't know when, but it's going to happen. It was actually Dan's idea. Dan was the one that came up and said, like, when are we going to do a podcast about you? So it's coming. It's in the works.
Awesome.
All right. So is there any other questions for Mikey?
No, I
Don't
think
have any more.
Okay. So let's wrap this up. Last thing that we're going to do is called Game of the Month. And basically, I'll ask you what your game of the month is. You tell me what it is. If you want to give a little description, that's fine. If not, we'll just keep it moving. This one doesn't have to be horror related if you don't want it to be. Just to clarify with the ones that did the past podcast. We'll start with Linda. What's your game of the month?
So my game of the month for right now Arlink.
Okay.
Arlink. Cool.
We'll go to Bones. What's your game of the month?
Oh man, you know you want me to say Barbie on the Genesis, but we're gonna pass on that. All right, we're gonna.
Oh,
You know I wanted you to say Barbie. You've been waiting all
Yes, I
day,
know
day
you
for
did.
that.
I know you did.
He just
But I was
recently
talking with Linda,
got Barbie.
and it's gonna be Super Mario Brothers 3 Mix because, as you know, because I was talking with you when I was playing it, that game has kind of consumed me right now. And if anybody's looking for a much harder version of Mario 3, go with one of the mixes, and you're in for a rude awakening.
Oh man. Yeah, I've actually seen that game streamed. JLove81 actually streamed it, so it's not something to be messing around with, that's for sure.
No, no, no.
And my game of the month, I'm gonna go with Super Mario Brothers 3. That is my game of the month. I just recently played that not that long ago, believe it or not, with my wife. At that, and that doesn't happen very often, so
Nice.
it was worth the wait. It doesn't that game doesn't age. It's great no matter what.
Yeah, it is timeless.
All those Mario Brother games on the NES were time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I would like to thank you, RetroMikey78, for coming on and introducing yourself.
Not a problem.
And I'm be happy to have you back again. And my co-host with the most, Linda.
have a good one, everybody.
And Bones, thanks again for coming on, and I know you'll be back.
Yeah, anytime, man. And anytime you guys are in my area, Mikey, Chris, stop on by. You can game it up.
Yeah, he has like a rental store.
That's something
Mikey does too, all right?
That's something I told my wife I wanted to do when we were up in Philadelphia. I want to go to Bones and check out his game room and see it from person.
Yeah, you're always more than welcome to, Mikey.
All right.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here, and I'll be back anytime you guys want back.
Sure.
This was
We'd
fun.
be happy to have you. Okay. As always, don't blow, just sleeve. See you later, YouTube.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye.
Hi, YouTube.